People who play Minecraft often know. With patience, building the universe is just a matter of time. And the young man below is no different. Others entering the fantasy world receive a wooden stick. Then use it to hunt monsters and level up new skills. But this young man only receives a strange shovel upon entry. Moreover, it can't be upgraded, doesn't deal damage, and can't be replaced with another weapon. But instead, he can use it to build anything. Like a true Minecraft game. But in return, the chance of being attacked by monsters increases by 50 million%. Opening the story, the narrator recounts. Chrono Life, the ultimate virtual reality game. The hottest global topic, another world for Chrono Life has opened. Players are summoned to another world. Upon first connection, what awaits you is 100 million people welcome to the new world, new players. The best teammates, players will fight monsters with their teammates, conquer bosses and dungeons together. A new adventure awaits you, a new character is created, a robotic voice rings out. The scenery gradually appears before his eyes, grasslands and hills emerge. A hand wielding a shovel swings upwards. A young man with a shovel stands in the middle of the grassland. It turns out this young man is King Dissect, a level 1 newbie. He looks at the vast grassland and rolling hills, thinking, so this is the new continent. Dissect is excited about this other world. His face is serious, as if he's about to do something great. His eyes are fixed forward, the wind blows the leaves. Not even 3 seconds pass before Dissect's face hardens, his lips droop. He looks confused and bewildered, but why is no one here? It's then that Dissect notices the shovel he's been holding. What's this, a shovel? He thinks to himself, they're telling me to dig. Dissect stabs the shovel into the ground. When creating a new character, they should at least give you a weapon. Suddenly, the spot where the shovel was inserted glows, forming a square block. Dissect opens his eyes wide in astonishment. A square block of earth pops out and flies upwards, making Dissect dumbfounded. He opens his mouth in utter horror. The block of earth falls down while Dissect is still reeling. He looks down at the block of earth that just fell. King Dissect once again falls into a state of utter despair. What the heck, did I enter the wrong game? He cautiously points the shovel at the block of earth. The shovel pokes the block of earth. The block of earth explodes, emitting a white puff of smoke. Dissect's jaw drops. The robotic voice rings out again, received 1 earth material. He can't believe his ears. A panel appears, showing a pixelated image of King Dissect. Below is an inventory slot containing the block of earth. It's in his inventory. He ponders, stroking his chin and looking at the panel in front of him. Dissect grabs his shovel and runs towards a tree. No way, this probably doesn't work on other things, right? He jumps, swings his shovel at the tree trunk, creating a square hole. He hears the voice again, received 1 wood material. Dissect stands amidst the smoke, his face showing disbelief. The voice continues, new item can be crafted. Dissect's eyes light up. A crafting panel appears. The item that can be crafted is a wooden chair. The panel reads Combine Wood X1, do you want to craft, with yes or no options. Looking at the panel, he reads Craft dubiously, you can create a chair just by pressing a button. No way, he says, pressing the yes button. As soon as he presses the button, the panel disappears, replaced by a large, bright green light. Countless small squares flew over and came together to form a chair. The red notice board appeared again, the wooden chair was completed, a complete wooden chair appeared. Dissect excitedly exclaimed, it's really a wooden chair. He quickly jumped onto the chair, laughing excitedly and saying, so cool. He placed his shovel on his legs, continuing to smile, but not as excitedly as before. Then Dissect fell silent. The surrounding atmosphere gradually fell silent, while Dissect sat on the chair. His face clearly showed boredom and loneliness. Dissect leaned back in the chair, looking at the vast grassland. What is this? I don't know. Is this really Chrono Life? He said boredly. Isn't this game an RPG where you have to kill monsters to level up? The red board reappeared, creative crafting, skill leveled up. Dissect looked up, the notification appeared again, you can now craft more items. Dissect poked the board with his finger. He said, what else is there? The board's content was titled Creative Crafting, listing craftable items, wooden chair, wood X1, wooden stick, wood X1, wooden sword, wood X1. At the bottom of the board was a View More section. Dissect seemed to have regained some of his spirit. he exclaimed, so making that chair just now was the crafting skill. He rubbed his chin with one hand and pointed at the board with the other. Let's see, wooden stick, wooden sword. Jiziak looked at the board, stone vending machine, wood x10, stone x10, Jiziak mumbled, stone vending machine, you can make this too. Then, as if he had discovered something, Jiziak's eyes widened in amazement. He exclaimed, this is. After a while, he placed the shovel on the last block of wood. Jiziak wiped his forehead and let out a breath. All right, he said. He stood on the roof, raised his shovel high, and shouted, my house is finished. An item board appeared, wooden house, wood x50, stone x10, earth x30. His face transformed into a handsome, charming look, his cheeks flushed with excitement as he looked ahead, the light illuminating his upper body, along with the beads of sweat on his face, created an irresistible scene. So happy. Jiziak stood inside the empty house, placing his shovel on the floor. He looked around the room, which only contained a bed and a chair. The furniture seems a bit sparse, he thought, but not bad for the first try. He jumped onto the bed. Let's try lying down. Wooden bed, wood x10. Jiziak lay on the bed, one hand behind his head. He let out a satisfied sigh, so sleepy. He turned his head to look through the sunlit window. Isn't this more comfortable than my real house? He looked up at the void, thinking it was only natural. Jiziak seemed to remember his old, dilapidated apartment. Fast food containers lay next to a dusty refrigerator. Nights spent doing homework until late. Jiziak sat in his cramped little room, the only light coming from a desk lamp. Back to reality, he lay on the bed in his new world house. Jiziak glanced at the shovel in his hand. He began to imagine a house with luxurious furnishings, a 100 pyong house. A 2-story house with a garden. The shovel in his hand gleamed. I can build it myself. Jiziak propped his head up with his hand, closing his eyes and endlessly imagining his future good life. Amazing, a different world. Not long after, a monstrous roar came from outside the door, startling Jiziak. A griffin with sharp claws slammed against the door. A red warning board appeared. Griffin, extremely aggressive, danger level. Jiziak grabbed his shovel, jumped out of bed, and stood there watching the approaching griffin. What kind of monster is this? The griffin opened its crimson maw and roared. It lunged to attack him. Jiziak hastily dodged, so only the bed was smashed to pieces. Jiziak stumbled and fell. He looked in horror as the griffin appeared in a cloud of smoke inside the house. The griffin's foot landed on the shattered remains of the bed. Jiziak cried out in anguish, my bed. Jiziak angrily picked up his shovel. You damn thing. He swung the shovel in a flurry. Jiziak was furious, holding the shovel's handle and blade pointed at the griffin. He shouted, you deserve to die. Jiziak shouted, how dare you destroy someone else's belongings? He stood there, shovel in hand, looking at the enormous griffin. Jiziak roared, I'll kill you. His eyes widened, a dangerous smile spreading across his face. Before the words were out of his mouth, a fist came down, lightly grazing Jiziak's cheek and knocking out a tooth. Jiziak was punched out of the house. A hole was punched in the roof, and he landed below, bleeding from his nose. King Jiziak sleeps. A red notification board appeared. Character has died. Another notification, you will lose some experience points and respawn in a safe area. Jiziak was revived in the grasslands again. He held the shovel with a dark face. His emotions were so mixed that it was hard to put into words. Damn it, I'm the weakest. Jiziak cautiously looked around. Wait, my house, where's my house? He looked at the wreckage before him, 1,000 words unspoken. What kind of ruin is this? Seeing the bed and chair smashed to pieces, Jiziak screamed, no. Jiziak sat heartbroken in the middle of the house, clutching a piece of the chair and crying pitifully, you damned bear, killing me wasn't enough, why did you destroy the house I worked so hard to build? Memories of the house flooded back, the cleaning, the kiss, the hand-holding, and the date in the house. Overwhelmed with grief, he shoved his fist in his mouth and cried, poor house. He rallied his spirit, shovel in hand, unsure if it would return. Jiziak gritted his teeth, his anger blazing, you'd better come back, you mangy bear, he vowed, I'll get my revenge. As evening approached, the wild lion bear walked through the grass. It spotted smoke rising from the house. And it grinned maliciously. The lion bear charged at full speed. It roared, smashing through the wall of the house. The lion bear froze, staring at Jiziak. Here you are, it said. Jiziak sat on a makeshift cannon, hundreds of wooden stakes on either side. He said to the lion bear, "Welcome to my house." The lion bear was shocked. Jiziak's face darkened as he cursed the bear, then, he pulled a lever. Countless stakes flew out, impaling the bear, causing it to scream in pain. The lion bear, in agony, gritted its teeth, sweat pouring down its face. It roared, its body riddled with stakes, charging towards Jiziak. Jiziak laughed approvingly, persistent. "I see," he said. "So," he continued, "wood and stone catapult x10, stones x5, the stone catapult launched stones towards the bear, shocking it. A bright light flew towards and struck the lion bear. It hit it in the face, knocking out several teeth. It was sent flying, skidding a long distance. Jiziak stood there, shovel in hand, watching. "Checkmate," he said. Jiziak cautiously approached with his shovel, peering at it. "It won't get back up, will it?" As soon as the shovel touched the lion bear, it vanished. Several notification messages appeared. Received X1 bear meat, received X2 lion bear hide, received X5 lion bear bones. Jiziak held his shovel, watching the lion bear disappear. New craftable items: lion bear hat, X1 lion bear bone, X1 lion bear hide, lion bear armor, X1 lion bear bone, X1 lion bear hide. He gasped in surprise. "I got materials from that bear." He happily pointed at the messages. "So, killing monsters gives you their materials, okay, I get it." Jiziak happily continued, "So I need to go hunting." Unbeknownst to him, several monsters were lurking behind him. Feeling a shadow above him, Jiziak gave a questioning sound. Monsters appeared behind him. Jiziak turned around. "What the?" He stood with his shovel, dwarfed by the enormous monsters. Jiziak shouted, "Monsters, since when?" Their eyes were full of hunger. Jiziak gripped his shovel, his hand trembling. "This is unfair." One of the monsters opened its enormous mouth and bit Jiziak, who screamed. Blood sprayed. The character died for the second time. Then, he was captured by a monster for the fourth time. He was clawed by a monster for the 12th time. His house was burned down and he was eaten, for the 49th time. For the 108th time, Jiziak stood amidst the ruins. "I've been wondering." He seemed to understand why they kept trying to kill him. Jiziak looked at the scattered wood. "But why did they destroy my house?" He heard a sound and turned around. "I have to rebuild everything again," he muttered. The monsters appeared again, holding his shovel and looking at them. Jiziak wondered, is there a purpose to all this? "You are angry enough to get angry, I am angry now." He gripped the shovel tightly in his hand. "Do you guys think I'll quit the game because of this thing? I definitely won't quit." "You charge forward, straight ahead, that's right, come on and kill me. Your face is fierce and determined, I'll respawn anyway." 999th respawn, the monster's foot slams into the ground. The sky is blood red, hundreds of them are lined up, waiting. Their eyes are bloodshot as they stare at the castle. A voice booms from the top of the castle, "You're here." A figure sits on a throne. "Wait, only you guys." "It's King Jiziak," he says with a domineering air. "Bring out the boss, I'll spare you." The monster flies in, intending to ambush him. It opens its huge mouth. Before it can do anything, a green beam of light pierces it, and its eyes pop out. The cannon blasts the monster in half. Jiziak says, "I warned you, you're doing it again." He rests one hand on the armrest, the other on the shovel handle, and asks, "What are you waiting for? Attack." He looks at his fortress. Jiziak asks again, "Aren't you here to kill me?" Looking at the monsters with their sharp teeth, "Or perhaps you're." Jiziak sits in shadow, a sinister smile on his face, scared. The monster growls, baring its sharp teeth. Hundreds charge forward. They're pierced by beams of light, and hundreds disintegrate. Countless green beams erupt from the castle. Watching the monsters bash their heads against the walls, he shouts, head-butting the walls. Watching the monsters fire on the castle, Jiziak praises, "Good job." Seeing the monsters fail to burn it down, he encourages, "Come on, keep trying." The castle is engulfed in flames. A pink creature emerges from the fire. It runs in fear and bumps into something. A gigantic monster appears, a voice like hell itself booms, "Pathetic fools." Granturis roars in fury, "How dare you turn your backs on your enemy?" Granturis, the world-threatening monster, a god-level threat. The small pink monster is dwarfed beneath Granturis's feet. Granturis crushes the pink monster underfoot. Jiziak says gravely, So, you've arrived, Granturis, this time, I'll stop you. Granturis scoffs, pathetic, King Jiziak, your castle is nothing to me. The colossal dark shadow stands amidst the flames, looking towards the castle. No matter how large and strong your castle is, nothing can withstand, Granturis finishes, and beams of light erupt from its mouth. Blinding golden beams shoot from Granturis's mouth. My breath, Granturis commands in a low voice, attack. Pillars of fire shoot towards Jiziak's castle. Jiziak says, is that all? Granturis looks doubtful after firing. He continues, you said no matter how large and strong. Granturis's eyes flash. Jiziak asks, it's meaningless against you. As he speaks, an iron foot emerges from the ground. That's because of me. Then, something gigantic rises from the earth. You've never seen anything like this, he continues. A colossal iron machine emerges from the ground, thousands of times larger than Granturis. Jiziak boasts, that was just the appetizer. Granturis gapes in shock. Looking at the enormous robot before it, Granturis exclaims. The iron fist slams down. Granturis cries, so big. As it speaks, the fist crushes Granturis. Creating a butterfly effect, the nearby earth also cracks. Shake the world. Smoke and dust flying everywhere. Granturis lay there, a fist imprinted on his stomach. Jiziak stood atop the robot. Looking down at Granturis, said, Granturis. He held a shovel, pointing at Granturis. Finally, I win. Jiziak struck Granturis with the shovel. Granturis vanished. You'll become my materials, he said. A series of notifications popped up. Received 10x Dago Granturis, 1x Granturis pouch, 2x Granturis claws, 3x Granturis scales, 1x Granturis heart, 1x Granturis breath powder, 6x Granturis blood. Received the title. Your meager fame has spread across the world. Jiziak, emotionless, wondered if it was over. The notification board reappeared. The ruler of the other world has changed. Granturis King Jiziak, he said, no. Creatures of the other world dare not challenge you. Jiziak raised his shovel. This is only the beginning for the other world. The ruler's privileges control everything in the other world. Jiziak spoke, as if affirming he could do anything now. King Jiziak, shovel in hand, smirked with the arrogant smile of a victor. Lord Granturismo has been defeated. Impossible. But the system clearly announced that the owner of the other world has changed. Elite officer of the Granturismo Legion, 7th Legion commander, just finished reporting. Doro, disbelieving, exclaimed, impossible, Lord Granturismo is invincible. Doro ordered, all right, send an investigation team to verify. The 7th Legion commander stopped him. That's unnecessary, Commander Doro, the system is accurate. He roared with hatred, prepare for war, we will shed blood to avenge Lord Granturismo. Mobilize all forces. Yes, we must prepare as thoroughly as possible, Doro said. So, are we going to counterattack tomorrow, or right now, you fool? Suddenly, this tremor is the footsteps of Lord Granturismo. Seeing Granturis, they rejoiced. Lord Granturismo, you're safe. Doro spoke, I am Legion Commander Doro. I request to lead the troops for revenge. We were just about to discuss an attack. Jiziak thought to himself, you bastards. He said, you all gathered here. Doro was surprised. Jiziak continued, so it's you. Doro was shocked by the Lord's voice, Lord Granturismo's voice. He said again, all day long, killing and tormenting. Granturis weakly pleaded, please, kill me now. Jiziak, standing within Granturis, lamented, the things I created, I built. Granturis begged again, forgive me, you destroyed everything. So you should experience suffering too, right? With that, Granturis's mouth opened, revealing a cannon. More cannons lined up along his neck. Doro spoke, wait, we can negotiate. Jiziak was unyielding, shut up. As soon as he finished speaking, Jiziak unleashed an attack, obliterating their city. The city fell into ruins. Jiziak plunged his shovel into the ground. Elite officer of the Granturismo Legion, 7th Legion commander, the loyal Doro, had become small and meek. Doro fawned, boss, aren't you tired? Let me dig for you. Jiziak was surprised by the offer, then refused. What, get lost, old friend. Jiziak wondered, how did you survive, and why are you smaller? As long as a part of my body remains, I can regenerate, but I'll be smaller and weaker. Jiziak threatened, so, killing you now must be easy, huh? Doro cried out, begging for mercy. Jiziak stood on a diamond, leaning on his shovel. As expected, this place is rich in precious minerals. I have a question, Doro obediently replied. Anything you wish to ask, my lord. Why do you keep trying to kill me? Jiziak asked. Doro and Granturis apologized in turn. We're sorry, we're truly sorry, but this wasn't what Jiziak needed. No, I don't need apologies, I need a reason. Doro explained. One day, the creator appeared and gave Majesty's imperial edict to Granturismo, the master of the other world, to eliminate King Jiziak. After saying that, they disappeared. Jiziak was indignant. Me, why target a mere player like me? Doro replied. I don't know the details. Doro fell silent. Does a bee in a hive understand the beekeeper's intentions? He feigned seriousness. Do you want to die? Don't. Jiziak continued. Is there a way to meet them, the creator, or someone? Doro casually answered. Of course, I don't know. Jiziak asked again. You don't know. Doro suddenly pleaded. Master, may I ask something? Jiziak asked. What is it? Doro was curious. What exactly have you been doing all this time? Jiziak replied. I'm building a tower. Doro was surprised by the answer. Building a tower. He smiled and said, there's something I really want to try here. Jiziak pointed to the sky. I want to try going there. Doro asked, where? With a calm expression, he answered, the moon. Go to the moon? Doro asked in panic. Yeah, sounds interesting, right? Doro just yelled, what nonsense are you talking about? Considering the planet's rotation and the moon's orbit, the supporting thrust, and such impossible factors, Jiziak continued, my friend, going to the moon isn't about those things. Jiziak hoisted his shovel onto his shoulder with a great dream. We're going because the moon is there, that's romance. You continued, it's a game, there's always a way. Doro was speechless. This guy's an idiot. It's over. A guy like this became the master of another world. There's no way to pretend to submit to him anymore. And when the opportunity to eliminate him arises. The bright moonlight shone in the sky. Jiziak diligently built. Doro also diligently helped. The two of them designed blueprints together, helped each other during difficult times, slept in the cold together, fought together against invading enemies. From this day to the next night, they worked diligently, worked tirelessly. Someone was always watching them from afar, wanting to go to the moon. Isn't he an idiot? But he's doing something interesting. Then, to avoid disappointing him, I'll create a fun event for him. Speaking of the moon, it has to be that the two of them have set foot on the moon. The first steps. He blushed happily. Finally, Doro yelled, we're here. We're here, oh my god. The two exclaimed, wow. It's beautiful, it really is beautiful. Doro looked up with shining eyes. I've never seen this before, it's really beautiful. Thank you for showing me this. Jiziak blushed shyly, so embarrassed. Jiziak jumped up. Enough rest, let's keep digging to get materials to build on the moon. Doro replied. Both of them suddenly looked ahead. You dare come all the way here to die, you cursed creatures of the dangerous green planet, the mad rabbit in the blood moon night, danger level, SS. This will be your grave. As soon as it finished speaking, the rabbit threw a punch, a powerful punch. Jiziak remained calm. You scared me half to death, the rabbit friend could only yell. Jiziak asked Doro, what did you just say? Doro replied, nothing. The rabbit said while lying down, cowards, you won't survive this. Doro wondered, but I'm still alive, Jiziak said, persistent. The syrup-faced rabbit roared to the heavens. Jiziak and Doro covered their ears and complained, it's too noisy, we're in big trouble. Jiziak felt the ground shaking. Oh my god, is it an earthquake? Doro replied, no, he's probably summoning his allies. As Doro said, in an instant, the rabbit's allies arrived. They surrounded the two, leaving no opening. We're surrounded. Terrifyingly numerous, there's no hope. Doro secretly thought, I wasn't prepared for a battle of this scale. Is this the end? But they only attacked that person, not me. Could this be an opportunity? Doro took the opportunity to say goodbye and had to return to our planet. Our planet. Doro gazed. It's beautiful. Thank you for showing me this. Jiziak stood among the rabbits, shovel in hand, shouting, you bastards, come here, there are so many of you. He clicked his tongue. If only there was a slight opening to escape. Suddenly, something surprised the rabbits. Doro hadn't left but had returned. Jiziak asked, you can still fight? Doro replied, I've been hiding this whole time. Jiziak said, I thought you ran away, Doro replied, consider it thanks for showing me that amazing thing. Doro showed himself to be a true gentleman, I will fight alongside you and die here, master, so you won't be alone. Jiziak smiled in praise, not bad. The rabbits rushed to kill him, they swarmed and tore Jiziak apart, leaving nothing behind. Doro covered his head with both hands. But when nothing happened, he was surprised. A voice rang out, I like you. Romantic, I accept. It turned out Jiziak had taken Doro flying high with him. You received, Romantic Card X8, Powerful Moon Equipment, Moon Pig X17, Moon Dust X5, Moon Iron or X14. He arrogantly asked the rabbits, why die, go back and live. He activated his weapon wings, you guys, it's time. Jiziak began his attack, become materials. Everything returned to silence, the two raised their glasses together, drinking water while gasping for breath. It's amazing, Jiziak sighed. Doro replied, it is, but you also. Marking your name on the moon, fighting rabbits is easier than this, of course, I have to mark my territory. Doro complained, digging and digging again, what kind of game are you playing, why? He continued, because it's fun, things like this are fun, Doro grumbled, this is fun. Seriously, I don't understand, Jiziak said again, if you like it, do it, if not, then don't. Suddenly, a purple ray emitted from the direction of the other world. What the heck? Both were panicked by this strange phenomenon. Jiziak, shielding his eyes with his hand, what is that? The other world is. The other world, our planet, Doro shouted in alarm. Jiziak put on his helmet and ordered, stay here, I'll go check it out. Doro urgently said, what, stay here? How can I go back? Before he finished, Jiziak had already shot off. Doro could only stand there, crying in despair, my master is gone. Doro stayed behind, thinking about it, what was that? It could destroy the whole planet. On his way to the other world, Jiziak wondered, what kind of monster is that? He shouted, don't touch what I created. He landed with a flash of fire. He dashed straight down the road. Jiziak shouted in search, Gran Turismo, where are you, answer me. He cursed under his breath, damn it, no signal. Jiziak discovered Gran Turismo lying barely alive at the bottom of a ravine. There he is, what happened? He called out to Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo, at the bottom of the ravine, was exhausted. Jiziak's face turned pale. Gran Turismo asked, boss, is anyone else alive? A dark figure approached and spoke, what, really? Jiziak turned around. The other guy pointed at him looking at the other guy's weapon with disdain. Jiziak replied, and then. Jiziak's eyes stared. The other guy continued to sneer, hilarious, he's holding a shovel, what a weirdo. That guy's holding a stick, wearing only underwear, and the boss, who's also holding a stick, calls him weird, seriously. He yelled at Jiziak, who are you? That guy in his underwear is Chrono Life's strongest player, his weapon is a plus 99 enchanted wooden stick. Jiziak's face was furious, he retorted, and you, who are you? He looked angry. Peace provocatively challenged him, if you have a problem. Jiziak's eyes weren't friendly either. Both of them had the same thought, fight. Bye, Peace sneered, holding the wooden stick, seriously, big brother, you're such a noob, he angrily shouted, shut up. Gran Turis collapsed, asking, can you win? Gran Turis, Jiziak called out his name. Jiziak recalled the effort he'd put into it, the tower I painstakingly built to reach the moon. And now you've smashed it to pieces, you. Jiziak yelled, you pervert wearing only underwear. Jiziak held the shovel, his determination burning, ready, pervert. Peace remained unfazed, pervert, he sighed and laughed, whatever. He wiped his nose and laughed, I'm still far too weak, if I hadn't known, it might have been better. But suddenly, he charged. His face looked sinister, if you climb up, you'll be attacked. His face was right up against Jiziak's. Suddenly, Jiziak flew up. Peace was surprised, Jiziak's face went pale, he groaned, almost, the system's showing up, left leg module damaged, boost system disabled. Peace said, pretty fast, Jiziak was enraged, this guy. His weapon wings appeared, he yelled at Peace, take this. In midair, Jiziak unleashed thousands of blows, attacking where Peace stood. Peace stood confidently, brat. He raised the stick, and a purple energy surged from it, running away, let's see a little more. Peace's attack illuminated the entire sky, super powerful. Jiziak was startled, emergency escape mode. He saw the energy, incredibly dazzling and dangerous, forcing him to dodge. Jiziak yelled, summon. King's Castle. Peace was shocked, what the? The castle struck. The castle's power was immense, threatening to tear the sky apart. Doro watched from the side, what's happening? Doro worried, is he alright, that human? Jiziak said, with surprise in his voice. No way. Peace used his stick to block the robot. Surprising Jiziak, he blocked it. With that stick, Peace was confident, my turn. Peace charged with his stick. He was above the castle. Jiziak looked up from the castle and scolded, damn it. Peace launched a fatal blow. He watched his attack. His eyes were filled with glowing square blocks, that guy. Jiziak used his shovel. He started counting 100, 000, 10, 000. Summoning 1,000,000 blocks, Peace watched in surprise at what Jiziak created. Jiziak's blocks now blocked the ferocious attack. He strained to resist, who the hell is that guy? Peace found it increasingly interesting, he chuckled. He raised his staff triumphantly, it's time. To end this. He charged towards Jiziak. Jiziak yelled, you bastard. They faced each other. The shovel and staff collided. This created an enormous crack on the planet. The planet shattered. Meteors flew out. The planet split in two, a voice called out, Big Brother. It was Ursus, Big Brother, so you're here, you've arrived, Ursus. Ursus praised Peace, another otherworldly feat, you've blown everything up again. Peace smugly replied, remember to build stronger next time. Peace looked down silently, but, why is that guy still alive? Jiziak still held his shovel, still wanting to fight. He was exhausted and dripping sweat, yelling, come on, you perverted bastard. He fainted, Peace said. Ursus was curious, that shovel looks suspicious, yeah. Imagine, using that as a weapon. Who the hell is he anyway? Suddenly, a crack appeared in space. Peace, who are you? A man gradually appeared, it's me, you damned brat. Choi Deokbi, CEO of Chrono Life. Beside him was a beautiful woman. Of unknown identity, he spoke reprimandingly, you've destroyed the tower again, you scoundrel. Peace still didn't understand what was happening. What the hell, what's an old man doing here? He asked Peace back, hey, what are you doing here? Deokbi talked to Peace, my dear player. At that moment, Yuria was descending towards Jiziak. She called out to Jiziak, are you alright? Wake up, player. Peace whispered to Deokbi, she's really your granddaughter, she's so beautiful. Deokbi was surprised, what, no, you brat. Yuria continued to shake Jiziak, wake up, Jiziak. You have to be stronger. I've been trying so hard to make you stronger. Do you know how hard I've worked? Just to kill you, isn't that right? She's the main developer of this other world, Yuria. Hearing this, Jiziak trembled and asked, what did she just say? It hurts so much, I think I'm going to die. Yuri was surprised, oh my. Passed out. Yuria slowly leaned down and kissed Jiziak. They kissed amidst the rift in space. Yuria after kissing him. She smiled brightly and said, sleep well, player. A faint cry echoed from the void, Master. Doro appeared, panicked and shouting, Master. Doro shouted louder, slapping Jiziak's face repeatedly, wake up, Master. He jolted awake, screaming in pain and knocking Doro over, it hurts so much. Jiziak clutched his head in pain, saying, my head. He suddenly came to his senses, his eyes wide with astonishment. The barren planet was struck by a force. Jiziak couldn't believe his eyes. What? A force split the massive planet in two, that world. He looked doubtfully at the cosmos. Why is it still intact? Doro rushed over and hugged him tightly. Master, I was so worried. Jiziak was both relieved and surprised. Doro, you were really worried, thank you. Doro shyly grumbled, don't get the wrong idea, I was only worried about myself, I almost drifted into space, you're teasing me, aren't you? Jiziak asked dubiously, if you're here, Doro, does that mean I'm back on the moon? Yes. 3 Doros surrounded him anxiously, asking, how are you feeling, Master, does anything hurt? Jiziak calmly replied, I feel fine. How can I be fine? Jiziak recalled the fight, doubting, I was pretty badly injured fighting that pervert. Doro stretched his face. Jiziak shouted, Doro, yes. Doro climbed onto his shoulder, and they both looked towards Earth. When I was unconscious, I don't know what happened. Jisioki continued, what's wrong, can you tell me again? Doro replied, yes, so. The scene shifts to a moment earlier, in space surrounded by floating asteroids. Doro screamed. Doro was panicked and worried, the other world, it's been split in two. A voice carrying chi echoed, calm down. A streak of bright yellow light imprinted itself on the ground. The intense yellow light illuminated a vast area of space, surrounding the figure of a woman. What? Jiziak emerged from the light. Doro sat down in astonishment. Huh. Master, master. Despite Doro's calls, Jiziak remained motionless. Are you okay? Wake up, Yuria said to Dozo. Don't worry, he's fine, just fainted. Really? Doro asked. Yuria recalled the scene of her kissing Jiziak. She said, of course, I used healing magic on him, the strongest kind. She blushed. Doro thought, what did she do? Doro said, were you the one who caused this to the master and the other world? The creator praised Doro. Oh my, you still recognize me, you're a smart kid. Then she said, but you're wrong, I didn't cause this. Doro couldn't think of anyone else. What, who then? Yuria looked towards the other world, a level 99 wooden stick. From the main server of Chrono Life, the strongest weapon in that whole world. The other world, to protect the players, had already set up system barriers to prevent unauthorized access to the main server. But the level 99 wooden stick broke through it. He returned to the original world. And peace was temporarily restored. She touched the other world and continued, but this planet will be in danger again. When he wakes up, tell him this. Jiziak, she called his name, I have high hopes for you. She clasped her hands together, and a light shone between her palms, healing. The light was shining brightly, the two pieces of the other world were gradually connecting together. Doro was surprised. What? Doro shouted. Because the light was too bright. Smoke billowed. Doro's mouth gaped open. The other world had been restored to its original state. Doro looked and said, the planet, it's rejoined. The creator, she's gone, the creator. The creator. And that's how it happened. Doro finished his story. Jiziak remained silent, lost in thought. He spoke, we lost. I was too arrogant. Thinking I was the undefeated master of the other world. Jiziak berated himself, pathetic, I failed again. Doro called out, master. Doro consoled him, you're the strongest player, the fact that you're alive proves you fought well, you only managed to stop it, with this shovel. Jiziak looked at the shovel. He held up the shovel. How did I manage to stop it with this? How could it have stopped something that destroyed a whole world? I fought against the strongest weapon. Suddenly he called out to Doro. Yes, Doro replied, do you know what this shovel is made of? Doro said, no, I don't know much about minerals, but the experts probably do. Who? Doro offered an opinion. Speaking of minerals, it's definitely the dwarves. They live in a place called the Wide Mine. Jiziak continued, the dwarves are good at crafting too, of course, crafting, mining, forging, they can do it all. Jiziak lifted Doro, then we have to go see them immediately. Do you know the location of the Wide Mine? He asked again. Location, Doro replied, actually, I don't know exactly. Crafting, creation, Jiziak continued, not knowing is fine. We'll fly up and find it. Jiziak brought Doro to a screen and pressed some buttons. Doro didn't understand what was happening. Before them was a blinding blue light. He hugged Doro. Let's go. Doro was startled. What? Jiziak's eyes were full of determination. The one who destroyed my home, that damned level 99 staff. And that woman. Just you wait. I will have my revenge. The other world, Black Highland region. Skeletons were charging. They ran to attack Joachim. The battle began fiercely. Joachim said, there's a lot of them. Joachim, level 49 hero. A girl attacked with magic. Shield said, it's alright, they're all weaklings. Joachim added, probably because she's so strong. Peach Shield, level 42 warrior. Grace panicked, seriously, I don't know who's the monster anymore. What did she say? Foxter, level 41 rogue. Foxter, seeing the commotion, asked, are you two arguing again? Grace, level 45 mage. Grace said, but it's boring. Joachim replied, this level is for newbies. If the monsters are too strong, there wouldn't be any new players. We just leveled up faster than the developers expected. Shield said, the game management is really sloppy, the server crashed several times already, Foxter replied, but it's fun, right? He continued, maybe we're the strongest team on this server. Joaquim grinned, sounds cocky, huh? He noticed the silence and turned to ask, what's wrong, Grace? Joaquim and Grace looked up at the sky and called out to him. The shadow of Granturis in the sky made her ask, what is that? Joaquim said, I can't see clearly, it's slowly descending. Grace said, could it be a monster that has never been discovered? Joaquim is confident that we are his first opponents, how unlucky for him. Let's target it, first failure achievement, ready. The Granturis gradually came into view. Jiziak asked, found the dwarf yet? Jiziak and Doro pressed their faces against the glass. Doro said, not yet, this is a nest of skeletal warriors. Jiziak clicked his tongue. Doro continued, I can't believe we're actually flying in this thing. Jiziak, hearing Doro's lament, cheerfully replied, don't you understand, this is romantic. Standing before the glass, one hand holding a shovel, he said, good thing I managed to retrieve the skull, huh? Suddenly, a desperate cry came from outside the Gran Turismo, kill me, gently. Doro looked towards the sound, huh, those are players, Jiziak said, slightly surprised. Doro explained, looks like they're in the middle of a battle. Jiziak just uttered an "oh." Suddenly, a blinding purple light erupted from the group of people. The light shot straight towards Jiziak's spaceship. He screamed inside the spaceship, what the hell was that? The people below, attacking, shouted, hit, keep firing. Peach Shield rushed forward screaming, thunder. Lightning, she used her power to throw the shield away, attacking Jiziak's spaceship. At this point, his spaceship was under attack from multiple directions. Inside, Jiziak and Doro could only stand there silently and watch. He pointed down contemptuously, what the heck, they're so weak, Doro added, probably just new players. Seeing this, he recalled his glorious past experiences and compared them. After having engaged in battles of such scale, the feeling was distinctly different. Doro asked, what now, should we show mercy? Jiziak decisively replied, no. His face turned sinister as he ordered, hey, they fired first, let's teach them a lesson. Gran Turismo you call, Granturis responds, yes master, they below Jiziak orders. Blow it up, okay. Joaquim sensed something was wrong, he flinched, huh. The Granturis' mouth opened wide, revealing a cannon barrel. Below, Joaquim could only stare in disbelief. The Granturis unleashed a devastating mechanical ray, rocks and debris flew everywhere, including the people, while Joaquim desperately sought cover. The people earlier screamed in disbelief, no way. While fleeing, Joaquim turned around, his mouth agape, his face filled with utter terror. The Granturis was aiming at him. Joaquim fell on the ground, cursing madly, what the hell is that? Jiziak, on the spaceship, said the same thing, but with a completely different tone, insane, what was that? Doro seemed regretful, once that mechanical ray is locked on, it's a sure hit. The Granturis' mouth opened wide, spewing numerous mechanical rays. The mechanical rays struck Joaquim, leaving him no chance to evade. His body was now reduced to a charred mess in a sea of fire. The destructive power of the mechanical ray was immense, creating a sphere of light that illuminated the entire sky. Smoke billowed from Joaquim's location. Jiziak and Doro calmly continued forward, unconcerned about whether Joaquim had become barbecued or not. Joaquim lay motionless, his sword shattered. While walking, Doro asked Jiziak, so, do you want to revive the skeletons and ask for directions? Jiziak agreed, good idea. He cheerfully said, all right, let's try it. He placed the shovel on the skull, become a material. Smoke rose, and the system displayed the text, became material. Creative crafting, ability unlocked, bone constructor, surprised. Activation condition, avenge the skeletons. Depending on the bone constructor's combination methods, a powerful skeleton will be created. He was curious about his new ability. What's this? Doro also asked, bone constructor. Jiziak said, the materials are all there, let's try making one. Doro worried about his determination. Suddenly I feel uneasy. A voice echoed from the dark night, it's done. You click on the system board complete. Usually the dangerous level D dog bone race, very curious like to be hugged. Jiziak high-fived the skeleton he created, praised it, and named it, so cute, its name is Bone Mutt. Then he thought everything was too bizarre. Doro urged him when he saw him procrastinating, stop playing around, get serious. He picked up the shovel, disgruntled by the complaints, but also amused. The system screen displayed a special event again. Create 100 unique skeletons to ensure the birth of a rare species. He still held the shovel firmly, laughing happily. Great, I planned this all along. Jiziak chuckled and touched the system screen. A skeleton shot up into the sky, surrounded by a mystical purple light. All three of them were shocked and gaping. Fireworks went off. The Lich King called out, Master. This humble being greets you upon its birth. Lich King race, SSS level danger rating, the legendary king of the undead. The Lich King knelt on one knee with utmost respect. If you permit it, I wish for a name bestowed by your own hand. Doro was still dazed and hesitant. Lich King. Doro objected at this point. No, not that name. Doro explained, the Lich King is the most cunning and cruel monster in that other world. It never listens to anyone. Jiziak made a decision. I've decided. Your name is Beogoodiak. His face was cheerful. Doro was annoyed at his master. Is this the time to be naming things? The Lich King repeated Doro's words. Is this the time to be naming things? Jiziak now had more faith in the Lich King. See, it listened. It'll be fine. Jiziak asked, Beogoodiak, do you know where the large mine is? Doro scoffed. How would it know? The Lich King replied, I know. Doro seemed embarrassed and asked again, you really know? Jiziak ignored Doro and continued, then lead us there now. The Lich King obeyed. Yes, master. The Lich King raised his exquisitely carved, sharp iron knife. I obey your command. A moment later, the shovel touched a tree. A light spread throughout the forest. Explosions echoed. A purple light ripped through the space, restoring. At this moment, a group of people appeared sitting on the ground. They were users. And on the tower, a pair of eyes widened. The waves whispered. Looking up, those aiming for the position of the otherworld's master. Even they. This new master's debut was truly impressive. And all who had witnessed the inscription on the moon. All called that day. The day the king descended. Jiziak, carrying a jar and hugging Bonmut cheerfully, led the way. Let's go to the large mine. Suddenly, he stopped and frowned, but before that. Krek, he suddenly shouted, causing the Lich King to jump, his knife behind him, feigning calmness. Yes. Jiziak said, don't even think about trying to hide anything. The Lich King was startled by that statement and asked, what? Jiziak laughed, were you planning to leave without saying a word? Not yet, there's still work to be done in the Oduk Great Plains. Where should we start? He chuckled, feigning ignorance. What are you talking about, my lord? Their eyes met like a silent battle. Safety, Jiziak said, the most important thing. Is a safe place to live, we'll build it together. He said as he tapped on the tower sketchboard. The goal was a tower as sturdy as a fortress, loaded with weapons so no one would dare come near. He raised his hands high to cheer everyone on. Protect yourself, safety comes first. Everyone echoed, top priority, top priority. Everyone started building. On a dark mountain, Lich King spun his intricately designed knife a few times in the air. He swung his arm powerfully. The ceremonial ribbon has been cut. Congratulations on the completion of Otis Tower. Everyone worked so hard. Let's do a final safety check, Rod. Doro wore a rejecting expression. Again, no way. Doro couldn't resist, so he still had to wear the intruder dummy. The tower system blared. Intruder detected. The tower attacked the paper dummy on Doro, scaring him to tears. Jiziak cheerfully announced, we passed, despite Doro being unable to stand, charred and lying on the ground. Jiziak, somewhat relieved, told the skeleton inhabitants, now we can leave with peace of mind. He instructed them, if an overwhelmingly powerful enemy appears, send a laser signal and run immediately. I'll come to the rescue instantly. Jiziak patted Bonmut's head, keep the house safe, okay. Finally, he got in the car with Doro and Lich King. Let's go, Nuven mine, we'll be back soon. The car drove off, and he kept turning his head to wave cheerfully to the tower's inhabitants. The sunset descended, it was magnificent. In the car, Doro asked him, you didn't bring Granturis. Jiziak replied, he's too slow and troublesome. Suddenly, Lich King spoke, we've been here a while, haven't we? Jiziak was surprised. Lich King continued, at that Oduk grassland. Doro complained again, I told you so, that's not our destination. Jiziak hesitated, then. He smiled brightly, it was fun, wasn't it? That's enough. We've made many companions, Lich King seemed to understand, I see. I hope you enjoyed this journey as well, of course. The three of them traveled until nightfall, then set up camp and grilled meat, crossing the lush green grassland. Finally, they arrived at the cave for mining. The cave seemed very deep, pitch black inside. Here we go, Jiziokoi, wide mouth. The three of them went inside to explore. Jiziak curiously asked, where are the dwarves? Lich King revealed something that stunned Jiziak. According to my past life's memories, contact from this mine has been cut off for some time. Jiziak was surprised. What? Really? Lich King began the story. One day, the dwarves suddenly stopped coming out of the mine. Of those who went in to investigate, none returned. Doro cried his eyes out. Why are you telling me this now? Lich King nonchalantly replied, did anyone ask? Doro panicked at these words and jumped around. Master, let's go back, we've come too far, they don't know someone's targeting them. Each projectile from these mysterious people was fired, aimed directly at Jiziak. Dozo and Lich King quickly rushed to protect their master. The mysterious figures were surprised at their failure. Jiziak asked, what was that? Creak. Lich King's eyes gleamed. He was about to finish off the mysterious figures when Jiziak shouted, don't kill them. Lich King didn't stop, instead slapping each of them, sending them flying. When Jiziak saw them more clearly, he recognized the dwarves. He asked in surprise, dwarves are this dangerous? Doro replied, isn't that strange? Jiziak poked the dwarf, old man, wake up, why did you attack us? The dwarf woke up and screamed in panic. The human ran away. Jiziak asked curiously, what are you talking about? The dwarf explained the situation. Currently all the dwarves in this mine have lost their minds and become extremely aggressive. Anyone who enters the mine will be killed. Jiziak wondered, but how did you regain consciousness? The dwarf, still lying down, replied, it seems like I received a strong shock from somewhere. Jiziak grinned, oh my god. He grabbed a shovel, ready for battle. There's an easier way, he said, physical therapy. The dwarves surrounded him, but Jiziak boldly charged in, come on, you grumpy old men. The dwarves went berserk, their eyes bloodshot as they lunged. They screamed, drool dripping incessantly. Jiziak's group didn't back down, they charged forward with equal ferocity. Lich King began to use his powers. He shouted the name of his technique, magic missile. The Lich King's attack sent the dwarves flying dozens of meters. Doro used his sharp teeth to bite, inflicting intense pain. Jiziak, flitting around, used robotic punches to knock them down. The three worked together seamlessly. Jiziak praised them, brutal moves. Don't let your guard down. Just as he finished speaking, a dwarf prepared a sneak attack. You dare? He punched the dwarf, knocking him to the ground. If Jiziak hadn't been able to block it, Lich King would have protected him. Lich King looked at Jiziak, grinning with his pearly white teeth. Jiziak was bewildered. I can do it myself, Jiziak confidently stated. Lich King replied with full confidence, I believe you can. In the midst of the fight, the dwarf who had awakened earlier shouted, stop making such a racket. He said frantically, it's going to wake up, that monster. As soon as he finished speaking, a sinister hand appeared, enveloped in red light. One thing was certain, it wasn't human. The monster burst out with a cracking sound. Jiziak exclaimed in alarm, what now? Doro added, what is that thing? The monster asked, I don't know. The monster let out a loud scream. Make everyone feel scared. This was a zombie dragon, resurrected by the SSS-class final boss's curse, a patchwork revenant zombie made immortal. It had no reason or awareness, only a vengeful instinct. The zombie dragon launched its first attack, forcing Jiziak to run for his life, screaming in terror. As he ran, he complained, why is this bastard only targeting me? Although Doro cared deeply for his master, he was relieved that he wasn't being attacked. The monster's eyes were bloodshot, and its speed increased. Jiziak ran, cursing, damn it. He began using his shovel. Jiziak plunged the shovel into the ground, summoning Granturies. Granturies' appearance caused the zombie dragon to hesitate, seemingly frightened. Granturies glowed red and roared majestically. Just its roar terrified the zombie dragon. Doro cheered from a distance, go, Granturies. Granturies and the zombie dragon faced each other. Granturies began spinning its top to fly. The zombie dragon swatted at it, breaking the top. The zombie dragon lifted Granturis, causing it to cry out, "Let me go, I'm dizzy." Doro noticed something strange, he couldn't move. Doro told Jiziak to create a body. Jiziak ran frantically, "How can I create something that doesn't exist?" Suddenly, he remembered something, wait a minute. He was tense, sweat dripping from his temples. "I can do it." When he finished speaking, an energy sphere appeared, enveloping Granturis. The sphere shone brightly, as if about to tear the sky apart. The energy beam shot upwards, causing the zombie dragon to gape in shock. Rare legendary bone creator. Granturis's divine-level dangerous bones. Jiziak couldn't create a body for it, but he could create an amazing skeleton. The zombie dragon still did not give up, it also roared to gain momentum. Its momentum was instantly crushed by the Granturis, who gave it a blow to the head that literally crushed its head. The zombie dragon's brain matter splattered everywhere. Granturis' tail swipe sent it soaring into the air. Seeing Granturis gaining the upper hand, Jiziak commanded, "Granturis, finish it." A tremendously powerful energy sphere formed in Granturis' mouth. A powerful claw attack, its ultimate move, slammed into the zombie dragon, leaving its opponent no chance to retaliate. The force of the attack shook the very heavens, sending rocks and debris flying. Doro and the Lich King watched the finishing blow with glee. The dwarves, witnessing the end, rejoiced at their imminent freedom from the cursed zombie dragon. Jiziak also watched and smiled. Someone was watching them from afar. His subordinate, slightly apprehensive, said, "It's finished." He continued, "What do we do now, master?" His master, after a moment of silence, picked up a piece of paper. He crumpled the paper and softly said, "What do we do now?" Here Theodore laughed, tossed the paper away, and said, "The contract is void." This subordinate was Rim, his assistant. The one-eyed man in a suit was Theodore's loan shark. He smiled sinisterly, "Call him, that fool." The mountain peak was destroyed, smoke billowing. Light illuminated every corner. "Oh my god, the zombie dragon's eye is still there." The dwarves gathered around the eye, discussing, "We were once ruled by something like that, how humiliating." Jiziak asked Doro, "Did you find anything?" Doro replied helplessly, "Nothing at all." Doro felt puzzled, "That's strange, there's no monster in this world I don't know, yet." Doro continued, "This is the first time I've ever seen this kind." One of the dwarves spoke up, "That monster suddenly appeared in the mine one day." The dwarf thanked Jiziak, "I hear you saved us, thank you very much." He was Kim, the mine manager. "I'm Kim, the overseer of this place," he said. Jiziak replied, "I'm Jiziak." He continued, "It's perfect timing, I have a question for a dwarf." Kim said, "Ask away, savior." Jiziak offered a shovel. "Do you know what this shovel is made of?" Kim examined the shovel for a moment. "This material, these curves." Jiziak listened with bated breath. He continued, "I'm completely at a loss." Kim laughed, "I never knew there was such an ore, fascinating." He continued holding the shovel, "Then I'll take my leave." Kim walked away, leaving the other three astonished. Jiziak, sensing something amiss, ran after him, grabbing his beard, "Give it back, you old geezer." Kim, eyes watering in pain, begged, calm down, calm down." Jiziak was mining blocks high above. Then he held up the shovel for everyone to see. "Look." He'd used the shovel to create a model of the zombie dragon waterfall. Jiziak stood proudly atop it. "I can craft these things too. Does anyone know what this ore is?" Those below cheered, "Amazing, give me one." Jiziak's blood boiled, "You think I'm stupid?" Jiziak sighed, "Even the dwarves don't know." The Lich King asked, "What are you planning to do now?" He remembered something and asked the Lich King, "Where in the other world is the best place to find information?" The Lich King replied, "Find information." He replied, "Probably the Origin Square, that's where players start the game." Jiziak was surprised, "Origin Square?" He remembered he hadn't started there. "At the Square of Origin." Here Theodore asked Lim, "Is that idiot here yet?" Lim, obediently beside him, replied, "I heard he'll arrive once he finishes all his tasks." Here Theodore continued to wear a smile, still doing things his own way, As they walked, the two encountered a large crowd huddled together, watching something. A hand offered a piece of paper with a drawing of Granturis on it. "Please, take a look at this." Joachim said, "This is the form of that monster, it's incredibly powerful. If we leave it alone, it will destroy the entire other world." Foxter added, "Let's fight together." The surrounding people buzzed with excitement. Joaquim's guild is asking for support. It's that strong, whatever. Here Theater scoffed as he walked by, laughing boisterously. Everyone was filled with passion. Suddenly, Here Theater stopped. He asked Joaquim, "Are you sure? Interesting. It seems an army is approaching." They marched steadily through the streets, causing a stir among the people. The people started to whisper, "What is that? That symbol on their armor, the royal guard." Then another group appeared. "Isn't that the Holy Church?" Yet another group arrived. Red cloaks with a crescent moon cross, the strongest knights, 10 of them, the Cross Guild. The next group was dressed like sorcerers. They were the Royal Mage Legion, the Holy Land Guild. The Thieves Guild, not the Righteous Guild. All masked. Standing solemnly. A seductive woman stepped out from amidst the soldiers. "And the strongest guild, the Righteous Guild," she said. "These 5 guilds have united to form the Global Guild Alliance, Otherworld Branch. I require you, as the commander." She was young Miss Hawk, commander of the Otherworld Branch of the World Guild Alliance. "Where is that monster?" Hawk looked towards Joaquim's guild. "Come on." She pointed. "Please, lead the way." Meanwhile, at the cave, Doro asked, "Logging out?" "Yeah," he replied. Jiziak said, "I'll rest a bit and come back. When I return, I'll head to Origin Square." Doro agreed. "Sounds good." Jiziak prepared to leave. "That old man led us. Is it okay to just leave like this?" Kim chuckled. "Because of that monster, we couldn't get out. Now he wants to go drinking and partying." Doro scoffed, disdaining the useless old man. Jiziak curiously asked, "What's in your bag?" "This." He took out a sparkling blue gem. "It's diamondium ore. I was planning to sell it at the square." He continued, "You'll receive all the money from this transaction." Jiziak was surprised. "Huh, why?" Kim high-fived Jiziak. "Consider it a thank you for saving us, old man." "I'll accept it," Jiziak said. After that, the system screen appeared. Jiziak selected logout and said goodbye. "See you again." His surroundings filled with light. Jiziak waved goodbye to everyone. "I'm logging out." Lich King's flag wished him well. Others continued to bid him farewell. "You're leaving, sir, hero, goodbye." "Yeah, go, thanks for saving us, come back safely." Jiziak said goodbye again. "See you later, bye-bye." The screen displayed the message, "You have logged out of the game." Returning to where Jiziak had been lying, he took off his VR headset. Returned to his dilapidated room. He clicked his tongue in displeasure. Looking at the pile of sticky notes on the wall, he thought how harsh reality was each time he returned. Jiziak's stomach growled. So hungry, his eyes looked at the instant soup package on the cupboard. He ate the soup while watching the game interface, which was displaying the next issue of the Game Weekly magazine. Today's news from the Chrono Life Otherworld. Recently, a rare material shortage crisis has become a hot topic. He commented on the rapidly increasing viewership while eating. "It's all because of an ore called diamondium. Diamondium hasn't appeared on the market for a month, and the merchant riot has increased its price tenfold." He was surprised by this news and remembered, wasn't diamondium what his old man intended to sell? He sipped his soup. So expensive, he thought. His phone rang. It was the current market price of diamondium. 100 million per kilogram. Hearing this, Jiziak spat out his soup. He was incredibly surprised. What? 100 million per kilogram. Scene change, inside a house, Lim's angry voice. "Where is he? Why hasn't he arrived yet?" Here Theater calmly sipped his tea. "Calm down, Lim, have some tea." But Lim was worried. "It's too late, they've gathered." "What if he doesn't come?" Here Theater calmly and confidently replied. "He'll come, I'm sure of it." He had a confident look. That guy would rather die than lose. Because he's the world's #1 idiot. "Oh my God," he chuckled sinisterly, "I guess I can't be a gentleman this lifetime." On the street, a hazy figure gradually appeared. Connecting to the other world. One leg. Slowly appearing. Then both legs. The person fully appeared. He smiled confidently. The hard mode warrior had appeared. He declared powerfully, "I'm back." At Heartheater's residence. He smiled slyly. "Long time no see." The leveling warrior, asked back, "How have you been, Here Theater?" "I heard you died, zombie dragon." "Too bad, I was planning to take care of that bastard myself." This is the hardcore leveling warrior, extremely powerful leveler, #1 in the world. Here Theater announced, "I was the one who killed him. It seems he's taken over the mine." Hardcore scolded Lim, serving the customer like that. Lim felt wronged. What the heck? Here Theater, seeing their interaction, called out, can you listen to me for a bit? Hardcore grinned, baring his teeth, I'm listening, what is it? He looked dangerous, should we take care of him? After finishing his tea, he fell off his chair and shouted, ahahaha. Too hot, he happily threw a piece of paper to Ha, we have a new request. The paper landed directly on Hardcore's face. Here Theater ordered, find the one who sees the wide mine and the black plateau. Hardcore picked up the paper, it was Jiziek's picture. Back in the cave where all the dwarves were working diligently. Doro was eating a cake when he suddenly exclaimed, huh. Jiziek's back, Doro asked, are you back? Jiziek said seriously, let's go. He pointed forward and shouted, to the origin square. Doro was doubtful, really. Kim came out in a very stylish pajamas, rubbing his eyes, you're back already, I was just about to take a little rest, Jiziek yelled, that's all you're going to say. He was urgent, is the energy diamond still okay? Old man Kim slowly opened a bag, it's still here, good. Jiziek ordered, everyone hurry up, I'm leaving anyone who's late behind. Kim was still sleepy, so sleepy, Doro was relaxed, what's the rush? Will I be skilled enough to guard this mine? The Lich King pointed at himself. Jiziek replied, yeah, you're suitable. He slowly said to the Lich King, because this was an important matter, he had to let someone smart and strong guard it. The Lich King smiled and replied, ho, I'm so embarrassed to be praised like this. Lich King seemed to know the reason and leaned close to Jiziek's ear, saying, the market price must have increased a lot. Jiziek was surprised, yeah, you know already, the Lich King explained, it's near the Black Plateau, I know energy diamonds are very precious. Jiziek said, then you must understand, I want to move it safely, so security needs to be thorough. He asked again, isn't there a better means of transportation? The Lich King said, transportation, huh? Both of them looked at Granturis in silence. Let's go, Granturis has set off. Jiziek sat inside Granturis, happily worrying about nonsense, just take the head off and it'll be fine. Doro thought to himself, is it detachable? Jiziek explained, it's very fast, because it has wheels. Granturismo, you like it too, right? Return my body to me, Granturis said resentfully. A hand appeared. That hand shot an arrow towards Granturis. Granturis was hit by the arrow, causing its head to droop. What? Jiziek inside panicked, what's going on? Hawk laughed loudly, ho 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 ha ha. She shouted, we've got him. From the top of the mountain, she called down, you're surrounded. Hawk held an explosive arrow, now. Attack. Each arrow soared into the sky, exploding like fireworks. A man from afar gloated, that's the signal. Made me wait so long, he smirked. Our alliance is even stronger than the original, we'll prove it. This man is Seiya, the guild leader of the Otherworld's branch. Another person with a scar on his face spoke up, this monster looks ridiculously funny. I'll take its eye. This woman with her tongue hanging out is the Suyong branch leader. Another army riding broomsticks flew in the air, you said to prepare for enemies in the sky. Really made others waste their effort, this is the Bibidi, Babodi, Bu branch leader. Another team appeared. The Kyun branch leader. Hawk flew high and shouted, all units, hold your positions. Hawk charged, she is Miss Hawk, the guild leader of the Otherworldly Righteous Society branch. All the guilds in the world have gathered here, their target is Jiziek. Jiziek looked out, his face darkening, what a bunch of bastards. He angrily turned red, ordering, a surprise attack, fire the mechanical beams. Granturis released a red sphere from its mouth. Hawk shouted, it's coming, activate Plan A. A barrage of attacks from Granturis flew towards them. Jiziek was surprised, they dodged it. The Suyong branch leader ordered, don't just stand there, kill him. The Bibidi, Babodi, Bu branch leader calculated, it seems not all information is wrong. As Joachim finished his sentence, Joachim himself charged forward. He shouted, damn monster. His sword swung down. The sword attacked, he shouted, this is retribution. He plunged his sword into Granturis' eye, confident, no matter how strong you are, you can't withstand this. Suddenly, he saw something. It was Jiziek's face in Granturis' eye. Jiziek's face was pressed against the glass, distorting his features. Joachim was surprised, Jiziek suddenly opened the hatch in Granturis' eye, surprising everyone. Everyone there was surprised, What, a player? Jiziek's eyes were bloodshot with anger. You damn thieves. He kicked. Granturiza's legs kicked up too. He shouted loudly, don't even think about touching, Diamondium. Rock back and forth. Those people were sent flying a considerable distance. Everything that happened surprised everyone. What the? Joachim didn't understand. Diamondium, what are you saying? Bang Zhu Qian laughed without much concern. So what? Hawk was surprised. What? He continued, we've already fought, the reason doesn't matter anymore. Those people are now united as one, that's right, from now on they have a common goal, that guy is our enemy now. Jiziek sensed something was wrong, he grabbed his shovel and took a defensive stance. Those people started a full-scale attack, get ready. Jiziek's eyes widened. A single sword technique. From somewhere, Hardcore appeared, using the continuous attack Moonlit Slash. Hardcore smirked, making both Kim Doro and Jiziek gape at him. Hardcore rushed forward in front of Jiziek. He asked, you're Ran, aren't you? You took over this mine. Jiziek innocently asked, so what? Hardcore turned his back and said, then. His spear touched Jiziek's shovel, my dear guest. Let me escort you.